So hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And I wonder what it must be like to be Derek Michael Chauvin, the guy who unfortunately killed Mr. Floyd. I mean, at this moment, I can't think of anybody else who could potentially be more hated in the world than Mr. Chauvin. I mean, let's see, O.J. Simpson. Nobody has video of O.J. killing his wife. I mean, we believe that it happened. They say O.J. had bad knees, but why was he in the white Bronco? Anyway, it's not really on anybody's mind. There weren't demonstrations all around the world because of that. What could it be like to be this guy? I mean, a lot of the time, obviously, you're not really thinking about it. Well, it really depends, honestly. It depends. I mean, it's not to say that I didn't watch the video, but I'm pretty certain that he probably wasn't in tears mourning when the guy was lifeless. So, and he maybe thought that it would be fine even when he found out that the guy was dead. Police don't normally, As a matter of fact, I think the family had to get their own person to do an autopsy, so he probably might have thought that he was fine. I mean, he got fired, but lots of people got fired. Even the guy who killed Tamir Rice. I don't think he was ever on trial. So, yeah. But the thing about it is that a lot of times we might look at this person and people have thoughts in their head. I don't know. I mean, nobody seemed to say that this person had been racist prior to this event. But I don't think that we don't have video of this happening like this to white people that often. So, well, that often. I know of one white person who died in a really, really sad way. I think his pants was coming off and they were telling him, crawl towards me. And the guy tried to pull up his pants and he said, I'll shoot you. The cop said, I'll shoot you if you do that again. And I guess his pants was falling off and he did it again and the cop shot him. And this was a guy who was playing with an air gun and somebody called the cops on him. But nobody seems to be saying that he's suicidal. And as a matter of fact, I was just, when I was Googling his name, they said that he was looking at a plea deal initially, that he was considering it. Probably he thought maybe there was too much time because there's violation of George Floyd's federal civil rights to consider as a crime that he's probably looking at, as well as the third and second degree murder. I'm wondering if he's thinking maybe he shouldn't have done that. But based on what people have said of what George Floyd was saying while he was dying, and the fact that he was on his neck for the 8 minutes and 46 seconds, Dave Chappelle came out with a special that I want to take a look at called 8:46. I didn't realize that represented the amount of time that Derek Chauvin was on George Floyd's neck. But now that I think about it, being on the guy's neck might not stop him from breathing. It could have. But what's more possible is that the other officers on his torso are probably what prevented him from breathing. This one time I was in university and these kids said, hey, you want to play a game? And they said, they would see, what happened if I pass out. So they said to breathe out or breathe in or something like that. Anyway, two of them were pressing on my chest. Like I was standing up against a wall and it was a game and they were going to press on my chest. And I thought for a second, what is going on here? This is not gonna. And the next thing I knew, I was saying mommy. I guess like Mr. Floyd. I was on the ground calling mommy. So it's a lot more likely that the people who were on his back and his chest are the ones that actually caused him to asphyxiate than Mr. Chauvin on his neck. I think I'm going to have to take a look at that video. I've seen worse videos. Some of them I didn't believe that they were real, but in retrospect, when I think about it, they were real, I'm probably going to force myself to take a look at this. I've been dreading it ever since I heard about it. But at the same time, though, obviously this guy, like I said, doesn't seem that he's on suicide watch. Didn't seem to be completely broken up. It's coming out that he knew the guy, which I was kind of just waiting for, honestly. Because you can't tell me that you were working a significant amount of time with this person at a particular location and you didn't know him. I mean, the person who admitted that they worked at the same place was saying that they didn't know each other that well. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then when it broke that someone was saying that they had, they had somewhat bad blood between them, I think the owner of the place was saying that she had seen Derek Chauvin be on someone else's neck previously, something like that. But what surprised her is that in this video of Mr. Floyd's murder, she's surprised that he didn't get off of the guy's neck when he said that he gave up, or he please get off, or something like that. So it seems unlikely that he is in a position where he's thinking, shucks, I shouldn't have done that. This seems to have been something that he was in the habit of doing. And as evidenced by a video of, and there's a black guy from Saturday Night Live who left Saturday Night Live, and he managed to get a videotape of someone kneeling on his neck. So, I've heard people say that it is not something that they're taught, but two cops, two different areas, kneeling on somebody's neck, Minneapolis, and I think this guy was in New York City maybe, or at least close to there. But I can't imagine what it could be like to be this guy now, knowing that people probably think that he's worse than O.J. Simpson. I mean, O.J. was, I think, maybe one might consider it in a fit of rage or something. Maybe he thought that the guy was coming on to his ex-wife or something. But, and like I said, it's been a while. But to have video of you committing murder that galvanized the entire world in the midst of an epidemic, people all over the world came out. People have looted, people have been tear gassed, people have been arrested, all because of something you did. It's just, and for the rest of your life, every time people see your face for the first time, every time they hear your name for the first time, it's like the complete opposite of being a celebrity. Just, I can't imagine what it could be like to have, well, I don't want to say it's probably in line with what it's like to be in a minority. I mean, it's worse than that. But I think it might be similar to what it might be like to be a minority, to have this idea in your head that you always have to be worried because someone somewhere might have it out for you. So I guess that's what this guy is going to have to deal with for his entire life. Someone somewhere is always going to have it out for him. I mean, he doesn't know whether he might get murdered in his sleep or beat up, or if he might even ever get a job or anything. And I see somewhere that, he might still get his pension. I don't know why that matters to people. As a human being, honestly, this guy, I know people have died in these protests and so on. But the only person I could think of who might be more hated than this guy would have been Timothy McVeigh, if he was alive. Or maybe the guy from that abortion shooting, but not even. And it's so funny because there are people that we know. There's that guy who shot up the theater, and we know that he killed people, but we don't have a video. And then to go from being a cop, from being respected, to having people assume that you're the good guy, for them to flip that, and now to just most of them hating you. I mean, there's going to be a group of people who you are their hero, kinda, because we wonder if those kind of people are going to forget that you used to be a cop. But at the end of all of this, I think that one of the things that as a human being we have to remember is that this guy is not a monster. The person who shot up all those people in Las Vegas, he is not a quote-unquote monster. We're all human beings. And if this was my family member, I would be boiling. And in many ways, I still am boiling. Just thinking about this guy dying and calling for his mother and the whole nine. But this guy is a human being. Hitler was a human being. Everybody that people loathe, they're all human beings. And yet, it took the 8 minutes and 46 seconds for him to murder George Floyd. But he's probably going to be alive for 1,000,000 minutes or seconds. I have to Google that, see how much that is. And it's always weird to me, the price that we pay for these things that take such a short period of time to be done. And sometimes I remember waking up and thinking that having a dream where I was in prison. And I was always so happy when I woke up and I wasn't. I'm talking about when I was a teenager, when I did not even come close to doing anything that would have warranted it. But I still had that fear in me that I could end up in prison for something, anything, who knows what. But anyway, guys, wish me lucks. You can like or unlike, you can comment, subscribe, and or share. And of course, you can do nothing. Peace.